Hi, my name's Jack Hodgins. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to start this as a very basic intro, as if I'm going backwards on myself, because I've been running this channel for quite some time now. Got some fantastic subscribers and lots of really nice comments. So I thought I'd start from scratch because there seems to be a lot of new people that have actually got Phantoms for Christmases, and I've noticed that from the statistics, there's been over 1 million Phantoms being sold, and nearly half of them has actually been crashed and burned, well, you know, destroyed. As a because of bad flying and stuff, and people are just literally just taking it out, flying it, and not sitting down and literally look at the instructions and reading it. And there's been a lot of chats, and some people running these chat groups on Facebook are getting quite tired of the same old questions. It boils down to read your manual. The manual, and you can download online from DJI's website. You go on DJI's website, under the support, you can actually get the manual for any of the Phantoms. So whatever Phantom you've purchased or you've got for Christmas, whether it's Phantom Plus or the Phantom 2 or the F40, the manuals are all online. They're all up-to-date manuals. When you first got your Phantom, whether you purchased it or got it for Christmas, again, this is a very basic video, stepping back a bit. When you unbox it, don't power the charge battery up and go and fly, basically, because you're going to have problems and you're going to crash, probably what half of the people out there that already have done. What I would suggest to do, and this is my own thoughts because I fly Phantom, done it for quite a while, and I've literally done baby steps. I've never taken it up and flew it straight out. I've literally took baby steps, read, reviewed, checked YouTube videos, got a lot of different people's opinions and stuff, and basically took it step by step. It is baby steps. It's £1,000 worth of Christmas present, or £1,000 you spent on one. You do not want to crash and burn it straight away because it's not cheap, especially if you've got the Phantom Vision Plus, which has got the onboard camera. That's a bit more expensive to repair. If you've got the Phantom Vision 2, which doesn't have no onboard camera, but you've got the Zebul's gimbal, I wouldn't put the gimbal on it yet. I would just leave the Phantom as is. I would leave it butt naked, like this one, with no camera underneath, and use this model to fly with, to practice. Because then, if you crash, you can buy all that. You can buy the legs. They're cheap as peanuts to buy. You can buy the chassis. The chassis itself, which is the top part and the bottom part, is £45. You can buy that. Again, if you check my website out, you'll see the chassis replacements, how much they're, about 45 quid. So if you do crash and bust these, the motors are pretty sort of. I mean, I've crashed mine a couple of times, and all I've done is I've damaged my gimbal, which is no longer on this version of Phantom. And I've also damaged the shell itself by bending it. I've noticed on a Facebook group, guy's done the same thing. He's bent that bit. You can't really straighten this out because it's plastic. It's quite difficult to straighten out. It's not even worth doing it. I replaced mine with a new shell. So this is an actual replacement shell. You get top part, bottom part. They're identical to DJI's own one. I don't know if they're directly from DJI, but they look exactly the same as DJI's original ones. They work fine and they're cheap. So again, everything you can purchase and buy, including all the components inside, these flight controller, the ESCs, the motors, every part, the screws, bolts, can all be purchased separately from various suppliers. So that's easy enough to do. So I was first to do, if you've got a Phantom Vision Plus, it's very easy. It comes with its camera already built in. What I would do is take this off, and I'll do this very carefully. I'd have a video showing you how I took my gimbal off, and there's various sorts of other videos out there that you can use. And what I do, it's very simple to do. You unclip 3 of the wires here, very straightforward. You can see that 3 wires there. They very carefully can unclip those. Carefully remove these little bits that holds the actual gimbal itself together. And on 2 of these, on this Phantom, you got a plastic clip at the back, plastic one at the front. You get spares in the box when you get these. So if you do pull them off gently, or if you do break them, doesn't matter if you have got spares. Gently pull these little rubber ones out because they can tear. So I'll give them a bit of a squeeze in and pull down. They come off quite nicely. Then the gimbal comes off from the plate itself, basically. You don't need to undo the plate, just the gimbal. Put the gimbal to one side. It will fly without the gimbal on it, but you won't be able to use the app on your phone, because obviously the whole point of the app on the phone is to do the gimbal side itself anyway. But you can still fly the Phantom as a full RC aircraft in theory. So I would practice that. Then if you do crash it, your gimbal is going to be safe, because this part of the gimbal is over $550, or it's over £500 in the UK to buy a new gimbal. You can't repair them. I know you can buy certain spare parts, but you can't. The most important part is the ribbon cable that gets torn and split. There is a US version that someone's got the replacement ribbon cable, but it won't ship it to the UK. So again, very much this is irreplaceable. That's the most expensive part on the Phantom. So I would remove this off, put it to one side, get used to flying this first before you start taking shots and stuff. Make sure your battery is always fully charged up before taking it out. That includes the battery itself, and also make sure your the battery is charged on remote control. You've got all your green lights, and also make sure your range extender is fully charged on as well if you are flying with your camera. But obviously, if you're not flying with the camera because you're taking it off, you don't need range extender on. And before flying, make sure you plug it into your PC, download the right software. If you've got a PC, download the driver first, and then install the system software. The driver will actually ask you to plug in your quadcopter. So the front bottom is a USB. Take USB cable from there to your PC. Let a load of software through. Make sure you've got the latest version. I think the latest version from this recording now, from today, is I think it's 3.6. So make sure you have got 3.6 installed or anything above. If you've got 3.4 installed, it does install older drivers or updates to your Phantom Vision, but you need to make sure you've got the latest 3.6 at least or above. Make sure that's installed. Run through the software, so when it boots up, it's all connected on and all switched on. So make sure your controller's on, your range extender, and your Phantom's all powered on as well. And run through it there. If it's got any updates, apply the updates. It's like a PC or any hardware you purchase or buy. The updates the firmware are important. Check what it does, but a lot of the firmware does fix a lot of bugs in previous issues. Always remember, when you buy something, whether it's an iPad, iPhone, quadcopter, companies like DJI sends them out bulk-wise to suppliers, to stock, to sell onwards. And those could be shipped months ago. These Phantoms can be shipped when they first came out. By the time you receive it, you purchase one and you receive it, they're already out of date on the firmware side. So it's always worth downloading the firmware, updating it. Make sure you've got a full battery on all the controllers when you run the firmware, because you don't want it actually powering down halfway through firmware and causing other problems. So make sure you do that. Upgrade the firmware, make sure it's update. If you've got more than 2 batteries, like I have, I've got 4 batteries, and one in the Phantom itself. Normally Phantom 2 Plus comes with 1 battery and plus an extra battery if you've purchased an extra battery with it. But make sure if you've got more than 1 battery, keep running the firmware update and change the battery in each one of them, because the battery has a firmware that needs to be updated as well, which controls the smart battery settings and so forth on the battery. So make sure they're concurrent, as they will show incorrect readings on your battery. And also, one of the fixes on the firmware of the smart batteries, because they're LiPo batteries, and it's not good to have them fully charged and not used for so many days. So what this has, the smart battery has a built-in thing that basically says after 10 days not being used, it decharges the battery down to a point where it just leaves a little bit of charge in there, keep them safe basically. And that's what happens with those. So make sure they're fully updated. So once you've got the firmware all updated and checked, then I'll take it out. I'll definitely fly this without the gimbal to start with, if it's your first time flying. So you basically have a Phantom that looks similar to this, no gimbal on the bottom. It is a bit light on flying because you've haven't got the heaviest weight of the gimbal, but it gives you good practice of keeping this in control. I'll keep this at low altitudes. Don't go rushing up to 100 feet, 200 feet in the air. Find a nice big field to fly on. Make sure there's nobody else around. And make sure there's no trees around unless they're quite far away from you. And then when you're flying, keep the Phantom near you. Keep it about, I know, between 15 and 30 feet off the ground. Fly it around in front of you, get used to the controls, get used to like forward, backwards, and do what the instruction manual does. It's take it up to a certain height and get used to going forward, backwards, going left and going right, keeping the bum of the Phantom at you all the time. So the back of the battery, which is obviously the bum of the Phantom, is facing you all the time. Do not have the front facing you, because then the controls on your Phantom is all the opposite direction, and if you've not done this before, then your brain will actually get confused. So make sure you fly the battery always facing you, going forward, backwards, learn to go left and right, and get used to those left and right, and then slowly add a little bit of turn into it, and then turn back and just get used to doing these little things, you know, and going up a bit higher, coming down, going up, and that way you get a good test of making sure that, you know, the ECs, the speed controllers, the motors are working correctly, and the props are working nicely, and it gives you a bit of sort of like getting used to your Phantom. It's all about getting used to your Phantom, flying it. If you feel confident flying it, then you shouldn't get into any problems. I mean, I've only crashed twice. Once it's been my own fault because I crashed into a tree, and that was because I was rushing. I started taking it into a turn as it's coming round, and the front started looking in front of me. Then my brain decided to go, oh, a minute, this looks weird. Then I lost my left and right, which way was left, which way was right. So when I was actually thought I was taking it away from the tree, I was actually steering it into the tree and crashed it. And I actually then bent this plastic up slightly, so I had to change the whole shell basically. Lucky enough, the first time around the gimbal was intact, it was fine. And the second time I crashed it was actually due to fault. I think I had an issue either with the prop or the speed control. I'm not 100% because I've had many more flights with this afterwards, and it seems to be fine. So I think it's just been one of those one-off things I can't explain, but it actually dropped out and landed quite heavily on its legs, which then took out the gimbal, which is not a good thing basically. So they're my tips. So do not take it out of the box, get up in there, fly off basically. 1 sec, because it's freezing cold on video. It's actually like 1 Celsius. My fingers start getting a bit blue. So I got a cappuccino, oh, it was a latte. Cheers. And got my favourite drink, Bailey's. There you go. Right. So take your time. I mean, if you've got a Phantom and it's a lot expensive, get to know it first. Take your time and do a lot of small runs. I mean, I didn't start flying mine round up quite high, up to 100 feet, 200 feet, so I actually got used to it being in front of me, not very far off the ground. And so I got used to the controls, how they were, and especially with the orientation, working out how the orientation works. That's the hardest bit, because that what confuses you. Always kept the bum in front of me. If I wanted to fly around something, I would actually move around the building myself with the cockpit going around, so the bum was always facing my face. Till I got used to it, and then I started flying through the app. So when I was flying around the building, I would take my eyes slightly off the Phantom, and look at the app and use the app for steering with, which then, because the camera's always facing forward, then the controls always stays the same. When I looked up, I checked to make sure where it was, make sure there's no high wires in the way, look back down the app, carry on in the turn, so I can actually then go around the building, keeping the front facing the building all the time, so it had that nice smooth view. That's how I did my shots, but it took me a lot of time getting there before I basically got to that sort of standard of flying. I didn't suddenly just get that box and away we go. With this new one I brought, which is not very old, it's only like, it's less than a month old. I'm still getting used to flying this, even though I'm used to my other one. I still take this up very slowly, a bit at a time, getting used to it, to making sure it all functions correctly. Because this is the version 3, and this is the Visual Phantom Plus, also minus the gimbal. So I'm literally still getting to learn this, trusting it a bit more. I have flown out to 160 feet, which is on my YouTube channel. It's one of my last videos I did of Winchester House. That was about 160 feet in the air. But I didn't go around the whole of the building because I'm still building trust up with it. So it all takes time, so just don't rush on that side. Make sure when you power on the Phantom, all your controls are up, or all your switches are in the up position, basically. That means it's in GPS mode. So when you start taking off, and also when you power up sequence, power it up, let it go all green, so you know you've got full 7 satellites. Check on your app as well to make sure the app is showing you've got 7 and plus more. Give it another 2 more minutes before you take off to make sure it's recording home position. Once you're after 2 minutes, you think it's got home position, which should by that time set to home position. Take off. So if anything happens that loses control or the frequency of here, or you accidentally turn it off or something, it will fly back to where it's taken off from. It won't fly off. Make sure before you take off, you calibrate the compass. So do the calibration bit, which is quite straightforward. The switches here, which is switch 1, you push it all the way down, all the way up. You do that about 5 or 6 times. You know when you've got it enough, and you do that because the lights on the back of your Phantom change colour. They go to a yellow colour basically, so it means it's in calibration mode. Then what you then do is make sure it's facing, the bum's facing towards you, the front's facing away from you, is then rotate, going left ways round till you do a full circle of your Phantom, and it comes back, bums in front of you. Then you'll notice the lights will flicker a different colour, so you know that's correct. Then you tilt so it's facing downwards, bum's facing upwards, so the angle again, going to your left and rotate it around again, and again, so you get to do a full circle. When you get to the back to full circle, the light should then flicker going back to the original colour of green. Then you know it's calibrated correctly. Place it back down. Don't move it off somewhere else. Just place it exactly down where you're standing. Then you're ready to fly. So wait for 2 more minutes to make sure it's recorded its home position, and make sure the satellites are showing 7+, and then you're ready to go. Take off. Get up to about 15 feet in the air or 20 feet in the air in front of you. Keep it very low. Keep it sort of head height, I would say, to start with, and just get used to flying forward, backwards, left and right. Just keep doing those. It might sound really boring or tedious. I know you're anxious to get out there and get some really nice shots, but it's trust me, it's worth doing it. Just go forward, backwards, get used to those bits, then slowly add a bit of turning, left turning, right turning, so you get that nice sort of straight angle. Practice those. Don't ever let the bum come away from you, or make sure front always stays forward and the bum always faces you. If you do find you're flying in front of you and you want to sort of turn it around and stuff, turn it around to you. So when you turn it left and you sort of add a bit more, I mean, it's hard to say the controls, but so when you go forward slowly, you're adding a bit of a left turn on the left stick as you're going into the turn. That give you a nice smooth round turn basically, and as it goes on, follow it behind it, literally follow it. So because you'll be going forward still with a slight turn, I will follow it round, so you end up going round with it. So the bum's always facing you and your brain gets in gear of knowing that exactly you're still facing forward, it's still getting the right way. Because you stand still, it turns, and then suddenly your brain, because you're looking at it, everything changes the opposite way. So left becomes right, right becomes left, and before you know it, you're like going too far left, and you put more left on it, and before you know it's in the bush. So, and also make sure safety checks as well. If you're flying in a field, make sure there's nobody about, because it'll be your first time around. Even if it's like low level flying, you don't want to crash into anybody. Make sure there's no wires above your head, electrical cables, telephone cables, mast poles, things like that, because obviously you don't want to crash a Phantom, and it can cause problems if it comes out. It's going to hurt somebody as well. And don't fly it too near yourself as well, because don't forget you've got your props on there. They can they're plastic. They can hurt when they hit you in the face, or hit you anywhere part of your body. And if you're running carbon fibre blades on those, which I do, they will hurt and they will cause quite deep gashes. So keep it away from you as well, probably 2 meters in front of you, away from you. So, and get used to those controls as well. And the other thing I was doing also with the Phantom as well is once I got used to flying, and I would go up a bit higher, then keep practicing a bit higher, keep practicing. It all felt quite second nature to yourself, and then I would then test out return to home, because obviously if you're flying up in the air quite high and you get into a problem and you don't know where it's facing forward or backwards, so you've lost orientation and you can't really see, because obviously when you fly quite high up in the air, because it's all white, it doesn't matter what colour you paint it, it's hard to tell which is front, which is back, unless you look on the app. The app's a good one sign to look at. If you point, if the camera's slightly pointing down at an angle, you can tell from the app which direction it's facing in. So when you look up and then look at the app, you know which one it is. So then you know forward is backwards and forward is forwards. But if you do find yourself in a bit of a pickle, then the best one to do is either turn your controls off, which loses signal with Phantom, and if the recorder's position's recorded, it'll start going to its return home. And the first thing it will do, I think it flies up to about 60 feet, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it flies up to start with, and then it stops, and then it flies back to where it took off from, and it slowly descends down basically. And by that point, you can then flick the remote control back on. Okay, I'll show a quick tip here. Flick it back on. As it's still hovering down there, you can then take over. If it doesn't take over and it's still auto landing, you can actually flick your S1 switch to the bottom, back right to the top again, and it will take over. It'll bring you back to flight, back to you flying it basically. Or you can just leave it to land basically. But test all these features out, because you've got to test them out. Make sure return home works. The calibration compass is working. If you find, for instance, you turn your controls off and it goes into return home and it's flying away from you, then you want to do is flick your remote control on. Don't panic. Flick it onto S1 switch right to the bottom, back up again, and it should kick it out of auto, return home, and then you should be able to regain control of it again. So flyaways should not happen, but I know they do happen. But I've never had a flyaway. I've always regained control, even though I've taken it too high and it's gone out of the range of the remote control. I've left it sort of like returning home, and then suddenly I've flipped my switch right way down, back up again, and I've actually managed to manually take back over from it. In the app software, you can actually change the return home feature. So if you are flying around near buildings or quite high areas like trees and stuff, you can actually say to the app, go up to at least 160 feet before returning home. So that way you know you're way above power lines, and obviously way above tree levels as well, so it can safely come back to you, because the Phantom doesn't know what's in front or behind it. So if it does go and return home, it doesn't go up high enough, and it's actually gone, and you've gone around the tree with it, it's going to come through the tree, because it's going to look, because return home won't fly the pattern it came around. It's actually going to look at the quick, shortest route back to where it took off from, which is normally straight. So it's going to go up and straight. So you want to make sure when it goes up high enough, comes back to you straight enough, because once it goes up really high and above your head, then it gives you plenty of time to take manual control of it and then carry on flying again. So, or you can just leave it to land. So I'll practice those things, and I'll also practice return homes, allowing it to return home and allowing it to land, so you know it safely does work, it does do it. But again, I would try all these features without your gimbal on it to start with anyway. And if you want a good practice, because obviously we've got really crap weather and stuff, and you've got a Phantom for Christmas, you're eager to get it going, I would buy yourself one of these for the moment. These little tiny little quads, like that. These little tiny little ones. These actually got the same flying sort of like left, right, forward, backwards, up and down as the Phantoms. So you can actually have one of these at home. It's not a big enough front room basically, and you can fly these around in the front room, because you can get the same sort of learning skills as flying your Phantom. So you can fly this at home perfectly, with real precision flying and landing really nicely, fly around things, and you can fly facing you as well as facing back with you, because this is quite robust. Very hard to kill. I mean, I've dropped this loads of times. It's very hard to damage it, but this would be a good way of practicing before you take Phantom out. So you get this flying really, really well. Then now you're going to fly your Phantom with a bit more professional on that side. This doesn't run off GPS, so you would have to maintain the speed of it, the actual speed, keeping the power up all the time. But it's a great way of learning manual flying basically as well. In the software as well, in the system software, don't mess about with the NASA function. Keep it in Phantom mode and keep the settings exactly as they are from the manufacturer. It's perfectly okay. The only one you might want to change is the return home altitude, because it's set quite low, and if you're actually flying around tall buildings or tall trees, then you need to set up quite higher up anyway. So those sort of things I would change, but everything else I would leave it exactly the same as it come out from the manufacturer, and then get used to flying. Once you've got your confidence up, you feel, you know, you've done it you've been flying for quite a few times. It's getting the time into flying. It's the amount of time you fly as well. It helps practice and build up that sort of confidence in your quadcopter. Then you can start messing about with certain settings and stuff like that. But again, if you're going to change the NASA settings and all the other functions, I will make sure your gimbal's not on it, because that's quite expensive. And you've got a Phantom 2 Vision and you've got the GoPro gimbal. Just take that off, just fly it as it is, get used to all that, because if it crashes, it's easy to replace spare parts, where the Phantom or GoPro on the bottom is not. It's an expensive bit. Well, it comes very expensive then. And remember, it's a hobby. Remember, all hobbies cost money basically if you do have a crash and fall, but try avoid those sort of things by planning, taking your time, you know, and don't rush basically. It's a you know, and then you won't be paying out a lot of money. You'll get more better at what you're doing. But again, these are great. I mean, I bought this one for Christmas, and I think these are really, really cool. So while I'm not flying my Phantom, I can get practice indoors with this, and it's great. It's absolutely great little toy, and it's quite accurate. I mean, you have to be very, I mean, it comes with a very small set of controls. There you go, look, it comes with a very small set of controls, but the thumb size, so you can get your thumbs on it. But again, you don't need to push a lot on them. You just need very tiny movements, same as a Phantom is. So it sort of more or less simulates what a Phantom feels like, you know, small movements, you know, and then you get a nice result from it basically. But I'm actually looking to buy a few more of these in, because I'm going to put these into my competitions. So if you're watching, you're not a subscriber, subscribe now below, and you could actually win one of these yourselves or something else. I've got lots of prizes coming up. I'm buying a load of stuff in, and anybody out there that runs your own hobby shop wants some donations for prizes and competitions, I'm happy to mention your names, do reviews on what you got, new stuff. Just let me know, email me, my email address is below, and get in contact with me. So that's all the tips I've got at the moment for this one. So fly safely, you know, don't rush, take your time, look at other YouTube channels and stuff, and just stick with the bare basics, stick with what comes in the box, stick with what the settings are at the moment. Make sure you do firmware it first, make sure it's got all the right firmware, because you could be running an old firmware that did cause flyaways, and it did cause motor and controller issues and stuff. So once you're on the current stuff, DJI is going to say the same. If you end up flying it and it ends up dropping out of the sky, DJI is going to say to you, you know, did you apply the latest firmware to it? And if you can say no, they can say that, well, that's what the problem is. It's not warranty void. So the void warranty, make sure you have applied all those updates. Like any manufacturer, especially with PCs and stuff, they'll always say, have you applied the latest updates? So they won't speak to you otherwise. So make sure you have got all the latest firmware on it and stuff. But when you do the firmware, check the firmware site on the support side to make sure it is worth updating, just in case DJI has announced something saying don't apply that firmware, wait for the next one, because it does cause problems. So read it first. It's all black and white, quite easy to do, and that's what people like me do for this channel. We do read all through to make sure we cover everything, and then we do create videos like this for you guys as well. So don't be lazy, read it all through and check it, and if the firmware is fine, it's got no issues with it, apply it to your Phantom. Take it out for a test run first, fly it a few times, low flyings, make sure it all handles and runs smoothly, and then before you start going to those higher heights as well, because soon you start reaching those higher heights, then if it does fall, comes out, or something happens, it's going to be an expensive crash, basically. So I thought I'd do this video quickly. It's freezing cold, so I'm not going to run on too much. Just an overview of purchasing, or if you just already got one for Christmas, you know, take your time, you know, and go from there. And happy flying. Remember, it's a hobby. Yeah, I know how excited you can be. You know, it's great. It's great for flying. Basically, you get some good results, get some good footage. I'm gonna do a video very shortly on settings on your iPhone. So these guys that you've been flying for quite a while and you're not quite sure what type of settings to fly with, there's nothing really written in the book, but I found some settings that are quite ideal. So I'll do a review on that. Keep checking my website, because I've updated some stuff on there. There's some new stuff, new type gadgets for your Phantom coming out, and this company actually does it, and it's do some quite good little gadgets as well, to do with sunshades, do the little brackets for your camera gimbal thing, and there's some other various ones as well. It does on there, and I've put all the links on there. So I'm going through, and all your comments as well. If you find any good places that, you know, does Phantom gadgets or any type of gadgets for hexcopter, quadcopters and stuff, then let me know, and I'll check on their site, and I'll do a review and put it on my website as well. And I'll do source other sites that sell the same thing, maybe at a cheaper price, and I'll give you some links on there for you guys to go through. So remember, my website's all about what I find useful, or anybody else finds useful, and you want to share it. It's there for you in one place, rather than you go and fish for it. I'll fish for it for you and put it in one place. So I hope you like my website and stuff. So remember, subscribe. I've got a Facebook page that gives you all latest updates, especially when I do a new video. It goes out to there, goes out to Twitter. And don't forget, I'm on Sky Pixels, which is DJI's own sort of Facebook page for Phantom flyers. So just, or any helicopter flying. So make sure you join up on that as well, and link in as well. You can share your videos and your photographs with other people like yourselves as well. And yeah, just keep on subscribing. Thanks for all the new subscribers added. Have a good new year, and I will see you in the next video, which I've got some great stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Remember to subscribe below, subscribe now. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. All right, catch you later. Cheers.